I tell myself I get a coffee when we record in the morning.
Oh, you get a treat.
I order it before I leave because it's so close, and then I just drive down there.
Yeah.
Get my coffee, get Chris one, come back.
Celebrate
the moments of your life. Do you remember that?
I do. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
What was that? It was the can of coffee that was in this.
International Blend, or what was it?
Yes, General Foods International Coffees. Celebrate the moments of your life. Welcome to Fire Away Seriously Funny Conversations, the podcast where we catch up on things that make us laugh and things that make us human. We are Matt Bays and Leslie Robbins, and today we are going to talk about Starbucks. We do a deep dive into the scientific patterns of dreams.
We talk about facial hair and getting older.
Oh, God. Leslie, can you say that and not sound so bored of it?
I thought that was exciting.
Facial hair and getting older.
Facial hair and getting older. I don't know what you want. Facial hair and getting older.
Facial hair and getting older.
Who's excited? And Matt living at Happy Farms for the rest of his living life.
Happy Farms to you. General Foods International Coffees.
That was like
right.
The bougie coffee too. Like if you did that, you were just fancy.
Yeah. Well, it was in that can, and I don't think it was like tasted like actual coffee. I think it was like today our macchiato.
Yeah, you just added water to it, I think, and just.
But we made coffee every day, and it was either Folgers, but we didn't make it in a pot. We made it with a spoon, the freeze-dried coffee crystals. And you would put it with a spoon in it because we made it for our parents. Hot cup of water, 2 spoons of coffee, stir it, one got creamer.
Instant coffee.
And there was Taster's Choice. There was Fill It to the Rim with Brim. There was Folgers.
Folgers was king, though, back in the day. I feel like it was the top tier.
Taster's Choice, they had the orange, which is regular, and the green, which was decaffeinated coffee crystals.
But they presented it in such a way that, like, if you were International Blend, like it was, you were a little higher class.
Oh, I know, but the problem with that is International Coffees. Right before that is General Foods. At least they could have been like General Comida Internacional Cafés. What is food in Spanish? I can't remember. I said comida, and I think that means to eat. It's close enough.
What about people who go to Mexican restaurants, never taken a day of Spanish in their life, and they try to like be Spanish when they order?
I'm seeing a doctor right now because I have a shoulder problem.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is, it looks like Favorito, but you know it's Favorito because he's Spanish. What do I do?
You say,
hey, Dr. Favorito.
Yes.
That's what I say?
That's what I would. I wouldn't try. It's like when somebody tries to speak like Southern and they're not Southern. I
do that all the time.
Okay. But
what I'm saying is I'm annoying on all fronts when it comes to this.
Favorito, and then you go straight into, well, what are y'all doing? Okay, there's this show called 1886, and I know you said you're not going to watch it because you hate Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, whatever. There's this girl, and she tries to speak country, and I don't think it's necessary. And it's so bad. She's like, the hills were rough terrain, and it was a hard day's work. And it's so fake, and I hate it. And she's the narrator of the show.
Oh.
And I cannot stand it. And Tom laughs at me because I'm like, I'll narrate what he's doing in that weird voice. Like he'll be making fried chicken. I'll be like, and you dipped the chicken in the batter and it fried because it's so bad. And he's like, shut up. And I'm like, this girl, she doesn't have to have a Southern accent. I hate it.
Another reason that I'm not going to watch that show. Thank you.
of your life.
General Foods. Maybe that would make it better.
It would.
Internacional Coffee Cafe. And then Nescafe came, and everybody's like, what? Nescafe.
And
now they're back with those. Everybody gets the little coffee maker. It's like Keurigs were now like throw those things out. It's like now we've got the new
espresso.
Nespresso.
There it is.
We just keep making shit.
My kitchen don't got room for the things that we're inventing. You got the air fryer and the instant pot.
So the Keurigs, when they came around, like my mom loves her Keurig and she's always ready to serve you a Keurig. But what I found out about my mother was that she was running those pods 3 times through.
No.
Yes. I'd get a cup and then she'd be like, you want another cup? And I would notice that she didn't put anything in there. She was just pushing the button. And you'd get it and you'd be like, thank you for this. Not even dark water. It's like tea.
It's brown water.
See straight through it. Yeah. I need some serious coffee. Grande Quad Americano Ristretto with a splash of cream.
Starbucks didn't have my order for a long time. They were like, we're out of it. I don't know why they were out of all the things, but their menu for a long time was like dwindled down to nothing. Do you remember? Just in the last year.
No, is it because of the pandemic?
I don't really know, but my order is a grande cinnamon dolce latte. Every time. I get it every single time. Okay.
Do you get the sprinkles?
I get everything.
You have to ask for the sprinkles.
I didn't know. No, I just get
you need to ask for the sprinkles because they put these they're almost like little sugary candies on top.
Okay, well, I will.
Yeah, and they're a little crunchy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm here to tell you it's been a year since I've had one because they were out of cinnamon or whatever the hell. So I didn't really go, or I would just get like a vanilla latte and it wasn't the same. And I was just kind of depressing. So I haven't really been to Starbucks because I thought they didn't have my order anymore. And the other day I went to Starbucks to get some people from work, some stuff. And I was like, what's the status on cinnamon dolce latte? Is it ever coming back? And they're like, it's been back. I'm telling you, it was like Christmas Day. I was like, I'll have a venti. I haven't had it in a year. I've been waiting.
They got rid of their almond croissants one time for a while, and I just about lost my mind. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing. I was like, why? Like, why? Like, we discontinued that. Oh, you discontinued the #1 seller.
I've never had it.
Oh, honey, they don't even sound that good. They really just don't.
Right.
They are. Trust me. They're so good. You'll love them.
I just
get one and see what happens.
Okay. I get the pumpkin bread.
And the lemon loaf, all good options, but you need to try that chocolate croissant once and the almond. The almond croissant is my friend. I say prayers of thanks for it. Oh, I was going to tell you, I had a dream, not an important one like Martin Luther King. I had a dream about my friend Beth. Okay. Leslie, she was like, we were standing in like a high school and it was like a dance. She is crying and she's telling me this story about this guy who broke up with her. Well, before she got married, I was like on the dating scene with her. So I'm thinking it's that in my dream, I'm thinking, who is she talking about? Because I don't remember this happening. Then she literally starts bawling, puts her arms around me on my shoulder and is like, like, I mean, literal boo-hooing, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, like holding her. I feel so bad for her. And like, what, and then I said, what's this? I need to know who to hate, right? Mm-hmm. And she says, it was in 10th grade. His name was blah, 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 rattles it off. And I was like, she's still crying. Like, and I'm like, is she serious right now? And she goes, he did it to another girl too. And then on Facebook, something about Facebook where he'd gotten on Facebook and talked about it or something. She was super embarrassed. But I think that the crying where she put her head on my shoulder and was like crying so hard was because I watched Good Will Hunting the other day. And do you remember that time, that moment at the end of the movie where he's with Robin Williams, which makes me so sad that he's gone.
Oh my gosh.
It's terrible. And he's like, says to Matt Damon, it's not your fault. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, no, you don't. It's not your fault. And like the scene ends with Matt Damon like, like bawling on his shoulder, just like Beth was bawling on mine. The end.
Do you take melatonin by any chance?
No, I do take allergy medicine. Maybe that's what's going on.
Oh. Have you ever had a dream and you're like kind of conscious in it and you're like, say something real in it, like wake up, or you talk to the person, like, what are you doing here? Have you ever had that?
No.
Really? I have, like, where I've said to my,
what
like,
are you
in my
doing
mind,
here in my dream?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Kind of like, it was like, what are you, I mean, that's weird. You don't make sense in this.
Yeah.
But I must be coming, like waking up or something, that you're coming back to reality. I've also said, wake up in my mind. Like, it's like, this is a nightmare, wake up.
Yeah. I had a nightmare about 4 months ago and I could not wake up. And I was trying so hard to wake up, but I couldn't speak. And I felt like I was smothering. And I finally like get awake. And Chris is getting his phone to record me.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was pissed because it felt like I had been laying there like I was being buried alive for an hour. Right. He was like, are you okay? Because then he saw me like freaked out. Yeah. And I said, what were you doing with that phone? And he goes, oh, I was getting it to record you. And I was like, thank you.
Were you talking or something? Like,
well, you were just like, he goes, it didn't look like you were like gasping for air. You were just like, whenever that happens again.
Could you just wake me up next time?
I'm going to need you. One more dream. Chris had a dream the other night and it made me laugh. He said we were in Beijing. So a little more Carmen Sandiego. That's our
of
next
course,
trip.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We were in Beijing and we were on this super highway with like 20 lanes. We were driving and all the traffic was moving super fast. And he goes, but I realized that we were going backwards in the car at 65, 70 miles an hour. We're going backwards. And he said, and I was trying to figure out a way to get turned around. It was just the two of us. And I was super nervous. Like there's no place to pull over. There's 20 lanes of traffic. And he said that I said, you need to go into immersion mode. I go, what does that mean? And he goes, oh, I have no idea. But then I looked down and there was this button that I knew it was like a special button that must have meant full immersion mode. And just as he was about to push it, I woke him up. So we'll never know what happened. I just love, like, where does that word come from that immersion. I say in the thing, you need to go into immersion mode. Oh, is that what I need to do? As we're going 70 miles. Now, I was like, were you looking over your shoulder?
Well, we dream the weirdest things. Like I always wonder where it comes from. Like what, like they say, have the naked dream. You feel exposed about something, or if something's chasing you, you're feeling really bothered by something. Like there's. Do you know if
your teeth fall out in a dream, it means you're gay?
Have your teeth fallen out?
No, I don't think so. My sister always had that fear, and she's dreamed that she would fall and knock them out. So maybe she's a big old Les. I don't think so. But it's true if you look it up. Yeah. I'm
gay, I guess. I guess.
I mean, I don't like men, but I had that dream. So this is what I have to do. That's what I would have been like. It's not my fault. I had the dream. I have to do this. It's a requirement, which I will be happy to fulfill.
Oh, what do dreams mean? Do you have a reoccurring dream that kind of like you're like, oh, here we go again?
Same exact one every time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. High school. Mm-hmm. There's a class that I didn't know was on my schedule. I find it on a piece of paper, a schedule paper in the bottom of my locker. And I'm like trying to figure out how to still graduate but I know I can't graduate. And so I have to figure out a way to graduate, even though I haven't been to that class. And can I make up the work? Can I just show up there one day? How did this happen?
It's like unresolved issues.
I hate that dream. Hate it. And now that I've said it, I'll probably have it.
When I was a little kid, I used to have this dream that the skeleton woman with long hair was chasing me in a parking garage with a grocery cart. I had it all the time. That was a scary, reoccurring dream I had, that I would be in this parking garage and this woman skeleton with long hair would chase me.
That is scary.
I'm trying to.
Was it soft. Like thin?
Yeah, it was like
like at the scalp.
Blonde. It was just like a blonde Hannah Montana wig.
So your skeleton woman had Hannah Montana hair?
Yeah, I mean, that wig, like the bangs and it's kind of,
The worst kind of long hair is the long hair where at the roots it's super thin and flimsy, but they still grow up long.
Yes.
And you need to doctor that up.
You do.
I think it's tough when a woman starts losing their hair. That'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
But luckily we live in a world where there's a lot of things that you can do about that.
Well, wigs these days actually look real. Like they're not like Dolly Parton wigs anymore. They look real.
Yeah.
Look at that gray. You see it?
It's going away Thursday, isn't it?
It is. But look how gray I am. I mean, that's
Mine is,
white.
Look at this.
I like it.
But look at my beard.
I love it because I think you have really good skin for white hair. I pulled a couple white hairs out of my chin the other day. Not to brag. Yeah.
Did you say not to brag?
I'm basically Santa Claus. I pulled it out and it was as white as snow.
Really?
So I took a picture of it and sent it to my cousins.
Men get ear hairs. Not all men get them, but I get them. And listen, I have tweezers in the car and tweezers in the bathroom because I can't with those. I just talked to somebody, I'm just going to say in the last 3 years, he had so much black hair coming out of his ears, curly.
No.
And do you think I heard one word that he said?
No.
Not one. Not one. So every really was all staring at the black hair.
Of course.
Well, because it was like, it was curly. And I'm thinking, no one has told you, which I'm not going to.
No.
But there are people close to you who might say, honey, what's happening here?
What do you do? Is it like
you tweeze it?
Wax? Can you put like wax in there?
You can. I don't want to let mine get that long. As soon as I can feel the hint of anything, I'm on it. So 3 times a week, at least, I go after it. Yeah, it's just a little pastime. I've had to make a hobby out of it.
What is it about our brains that knows our body is old now, and so we have to grow hair in our ears or in our chins? Or, what is it about that? Like our nose hair gets longer, our eyebrows get longer. I don't get it. Like, how does your brain know that you're up? It's time. It's time to get longer than usual.
As a friend once told me, we're not here for science.
That's right. That's true. I get it. That was just my little pondering.
Yeah, I get it, though. As we're getting older, it's strange how many, I don't know, lately I've just been noticing how many people are like 30, but I think they're 18, but they're 30. Because they look so young to you. Yeah. And I think it's because you start looking older.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, you're not in college? You're no, I'm 35. Oh.
Like, no, here's my 3 children. Well, do you remember when you started noticing the age on your parents? For me, it was, I noticed it a little bit in college when I went away and then came back. And I'm like sitting across from my mom, who's always been a beautiful woman. But I was like, starting to notice it. But then you really start noticing it when they like turn 70.
Oh, my parents haven't gotten there yet.
Where you're like, okay, they're an old person now, and there's something wonderful about that. I mean, my mom has just, I don't think anybody's done it better than her. And I'm not talking about her physical appearance. I'm just talking about her spirit, in her heart, her spunk, her attitude, all of that kind of stuff. She's just done it really, really well. But I do remember looking at her and thinking, oh, and then I think, I'm where she is right now. I am 28 years from that, being that old. That is a reminder to me to live life to the full and that you only have one shot at this.
I have learned that more this month working in that senior living than ever, because you have the people who are moving into this place and they know this is it. This is where I've come to die. And they embrace it, and they're sad, and they don't come out of their apartments, and they are just, it's sad. Like they are just depressed and they're lonely, and it's just awful. And then on the other hand, you have people who are like, this is where I come to die. It's going to be fun. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to do puzzles. I'm going to join this club. And they're having a great time. And it's like, you just see both sides where, yes, you have your glass half full and your glass half empty. People.
Well, and that's probably the way that they've been for their entire lives, right? We have glass half full people, glass half empty. I am happy to be in the glass half full club, but I can dip my little toe in the glass half empty when I need to, but I don't know. There is something about hitting 50 and realizing, I hope I have 30 years left. I'm not sure that I do. Maybe 35, but I think it's ridiculous to expect people to stay in an unhappy place, either because of marriage or because of their children or friends or work, whatever it be, just because they're supposed to, because you owe somebody. No, but change requires work, and work can be hard. So count the cost.
And being open to learn new things. Like, as we get older, we do go back. I mean, I've heard myself say, like, back when I was younger, this is what we did. Yeah. And I mean, it is easy to fall into that. But our company has this TikTok account, and there's several communities that do these fun TikToks, and they've gone viral. And they're hilarious, and they're doing like rap songs, and these people are in their 80s and 90s, and they're participating, have a blast. Yeah. Well, I was talking to one of our residents, and I was telling her about it. I was like, there's this, our company, and it's got millions of views. And she was like, yeah, but that makes you look stupid. And I was like, or it shows young people that getting older is fun.
I mean, I get it. It's like, you don't want to exploit these old people, but a lot of these old people know exactly what they're doing.
They're up in their right minds. Yeah, they're just like, okay, let's do it.
God, I've made videos like that now.
Exactly.
So I'm supposed to not when I'm 85? Listen, it's going to be the full Monty when I'm 90.
This one guy, I haven't met him before. He went with us to lunch yesterday, and I was like, his name was Gary. I was like, Gary, what would you like to do? I've never seen you come to an activity. And he was like, are you going to do like a topless bar or something? And I cracked up. I was like, well, I mean, I guess I could arrange it for you. We could take you to Hooters for lunch if you want. I mean, why not? They're not dead. Yeah. They still want to have fun. They want to laugh. They want to do stuff. Like, we're sticking them in the corner, making them do Bible study and sing hymns when they're just like, can we go do something fun?
Yeah, yeah. See, that's where I think that those retirement communities actually could be. I think it's great when they have a cruise director at them, because there are some people who are sitting home alone day after day after day, sitting in that lazy boy with TV on all by themselves. And I think I can see where a community center like that would be like, oh, there are people around. I can walk down the hall and talk to Marge.
100. Think about Golden Girls. Remember how Dorothy would say, I'm going to take you to Shady Pines, Ma, and it always had this like negative connotation of like, it's a bad place. Yeah. And maybe back then it is, or you compare it to like a nursing home, which is completely different than what this is.
Is this assisted living?
We have an assisted living community. We have 3 kind of different setups. Levels. We have independent living, assisted living, and then memory care, which is like dementia.
Okay.
And so independent living, they just come and go as they please. Some of them have cars, whatever. Assisted living, some of them are, maybe they just need like help because they have knee surgery, medicine. Like they participate. Or you just have people that won't come out of the room because they're depressed and they don't want to be bothered. And I am that personality type, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be that person. I want to have a lunch date once a week. Like I want to be an introvert, be who I am, but I also want to have fun. I want to know what's fun, what the kids are listening to. I want to know like the popular songs. I want to know what's going on in the world, all of that. So that's what I'm learning from working there.
Yeah. I could see doing it someday. If there's a place I could go where there are a bunch of people around, I could make some friends and hang out. That'd be good. Me and Chris could do it together.
We have one guy, the men don't, here's the thing. The men don't do much. They don't get involved. But there are the extroverts like you who are like, we want to do stuff. And it's mostly all women who get involved. And so we have these lady lunches and we have crafts and all that. Well, his name's Bill. He came down to my office and he was like, hey, when you do men's lunch, I'm the only one that goes. So can I just go with the ladies?
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, of course. He was like, okay, I'm just going to sign up. Because he was like, I just want to do stuff. Yeah. He was like, I'm up there on the third floor. They all go to bed at 5:00 and I want to talk and I was like, okay, yeah, that's good to know. Thank you for saying.
Totally. That would be me too. I mean, listen, that was me in high school. It's definitely going to be me when I'm 115.
Yeah. So he does the tea parties. He does all of it. Puts the hats on.
We're going to get our hair done. I'm in.
He's all in. He is.
Put clear coat on these babies.
Yeah. He's happy. He loves the talking. He loves the social activities. He's all in. And I love him. You'll be a good old man.
I hope I can just do it like my mom. That's my intention of doing it like my mom, because I think I can't think of my mom without thinking positive, happy thoughts. She just makes me happy.
Yeah.
I tell you, the other day I was on the phone with her and she said, toward the end, she goes, I'm your best friend, except for Jesus. I was like, okay.
She's not going to give up. That's sweet, though.
Right. I've decided. In case you were wondering who your best friend is, it's me, except for Jesus.
And she doesn't listen to our podcast, does she? She doesn't know it even exists. Mm-mm. What would you do if she listened?
Be nervous.
You don't say anything.
Well, I don't like her to listen to stuff because, I mean, I think in her mind, she would think, I didn't raise him this way.
Oh, okay.
Which is accurate.
Yeah, sure.
She didn't raise me this way. But there is a difference between the perception of what is righteous and good and all of that and what is in my mind, for that. So we don't think the same way as we used to. But she read my book, Leather and Lace, and I kept saying, you do not need to read this book.
Yeah.
But she read it. I mean, it has the F word in it 20 times, I mean, it has sexual innuendo in it from when I was on the dating apps and it has a lot of stuff in there, and I was like, you don't have to read this book, meaning do not read this book, please. Right. Pretty please with sugar. And she did. She was like, oh, I'm going to read it. And I was like, so she did. And she called me and she had a few things to say about one chapter really bothered her, but not where she was disappointed in me. It bothered her because it's the toughest chapter in the book about something that happened in the past. But she said, I think every evangelical needs to read this book.
Oh.
And we had this lovely conversation. And I was thinking, this is why I love her, because she does not make my whole life about her or a reflection of her.
Right.
She continues, surprisingly to me sometimes, to allow me to venture out and do what I'm going to do and live the way I want to live. And she is there for it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. Especially that generation is not typically like that.
I know. And this is what I've always said about my mom, that a lot of people could say, whatever. Yes, I was raised conservative, evangelical. Yes, that did not do great things for me. And it's taken me a long time to shed that skin. But I always knew that the relationship that my mom had with this person of Jesus and God was authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about religiosity.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about just rules. It was an actual real thing. And I think that has informed her behavior and how she lives. And she is not just an old person turning up her nose at somebody walking past them in a tube top. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She would not be into gangster rap, but she would be kind to all of those people. And she would be not judgmental and just be like, well, that's, and kind of trail off and not have anything to say about it. It's why people love her. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, if I get to be that in my old age, I will feel like $1 million. So I tell my mom all the time, you're the best mom. You're just the best mom. She's like, well, thank you. Listen, it wasn't hard to raise you. You were such a good, that's where she comes back to. And I'm just like, see, she's just good. She's good people.
Just in general, I think it says a lot about maturity when you can be in a room and hold space for people who do not think or believe or anything like you, and it has no effect of you.
Or if it does, you realize it's your problem.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost that one lady on the second episode or something. I don't even know what we talked about. It was just what was that episode?
Oh,
it's not even controversial.
Oh, it's the story of the dead lady. Yeah. So sparklers, just so you know, you posted during our sabbatical some of our favorite episodes or most listened to episodes, and the story of the dead lady was one of them, where we dropped that dead lady.
Funniest episode. Not controversial at all.
No, at all. It wasn't controversial. We dropped a dead lady, but some people would be like, it's a little controversial. Yeah, you dropped a dead person. Yeah. But anyway, she commented on there, this is the episode
I stopped listening.
That I stopped listening to your podcast, and then had the emoji of the person shrugging their shoulders like, what the hell? And I literally responded, sounds good. That's all I said. Because I'm just that kind of stuff anymore. It's like, it's an elective. We've talked about this. Mm-hmm. You get to not listen.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is it really necessary that you let people know?
Yeah. How disappointed or whatever.
It's
I
like,
didn't listen.
Waiter, I want you to know that I only ate half my sandwich, not because I'm not hungry anymore, but because I didn't like it. No. So dumb.
I hate it. I was like, well, thank God she didn't get to Barbie Jesus or the gay pride or all the other ones, because her head would have exploded.
That's it. Well, you got to get to your little funny.
I got to go to work.
What's it called? Happy Farms? Or what's your place called? What?
It's called Independence Villages.
Okay. Got a little 4th of July.
Happy Farms?
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I'd go
to Happy Farms.
I bet you would. Happy Farms is where it's at.
We got to record our intro. By the way, did you notice on the last one that we just started in by talking?
Yeah, a lot of podcasts do that. I
made it up. I did that.
Matt,
it was my idea.
Thing I've ever experienced.
I'm sure I'm like, did you notice we did it? You're like, everybody does that.
I just wish you listened to podcasts so you would know, like,
I listen to podcasts. I've sent you Eon Love and Sands. That's it for us today on Fire Away. We'll be back with more seriously funny conversations next week. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/podcast Fire Away, and on Instagram at fireaway_podcast, and watch us via video on our YouTube channel, and fire this podcast off to a few friends. Fire away.
Fire away.
Oh, stop recording.